Hello, everyone. It's Make a Move Mike, the Veterans Realtor of Realty Executives Dylan, here with Andy Cruz of Mortgage Heroes. And we're happy to have you here with us today. We're going to be discussing 5 common questions, objectives, and comments that I receive either face-to-face, text message, or direct message, you name it. So here we go. Number 1, I don't want to pay a mortgage. I hear this all the time from people. People that I've served with in the military, people that I meet, people that I've met through mutual friends. They always say, I don't want to pay a mortgage. So I always ask them, do you need a place to live? What's the answer to that?
You're paying someone's mortgage.
Yes. Yes. So when you pay rent, what does that pay for? Oh, it pays for your living,
The dwelling.
Yeah. So where does that rent go towards? Oh, my rent. Oh, but what else does it go towards? Your landlord's mortgage. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. There are cases where maybe the landlord doesn't have a mortgage, but you're still paying for the asset that person owns.
Exactly.
So you don't own anything.
Yes. And what happens when you move after renting a house? Do you get some of that money back?
No.
What happens when you have a house that has equity and you sell it and you move?
Yeah.
You have
take
that
extra
equity
money with
take
you.
that
That's
money
right.
with you. So keep that in mind, everyone. For those of you who are saying, "Oh, I don't want to pay a mortgage,"
Yeah.
you are someone else's.
Yep. That's right.
Number 2, can you show me homes first? No. You need a mortgage pre-approval.
First before what? Oh, before getting approved. Okay.
You need a pre-approval from a mortgage lender, a reputable one, preferably, like Mortgage Hero. So, I'd be happy to, refer you to them if you consider buying a home in the near future. But yes, I can't. It goes without saying. Like right now, with COVID and even prior to that, it's kind of common practice for a real estate agent not to show properties without you getting pre-approval, and for good reasons. Because one, you may not even get pre-approved for a mortgage. You may, if you have some unforeseen credit issues or income needs to be increased,
right.
Your debt needs to decrease, then that may limit your ability to get approved for a mortgage, or it may limit your purchasing power for a home that you desire to own, and you might want to buy a home here at this price point, but you can only afford a home, or you can only get a pre-approved for a home at this price point. So that's one of the reasons why we don't want to do that.
Another thing too that just came to mind as you're describing this is this is not a car shopping experience. You can go to a car lot and look at a lot of different cars, open up the car, get in the car. No one's personal possessions are in the car. So it's vacant, right? What about vacant homes? Well, it's still owned by someone already. It's not owned by the dealership. The dealership owns all those cars. They know that you're going to come and look at the cars, see the cars, test drive the cars. That's not how it works with homes. Every home has its own owner, and they have their own tolerance and their own kind of boundaries on what they want coming to see their house and who and why. So it's really important to get qualified, because you also could be getting your hopes up, and you don't want to do that and then defer yourself from later being excited about buying a home when you can afford it or when your credit is better. Yes. So use your emotional investment in looking for a home properly, as well as the professional that you're looking to have help you with that.
Yeah, I always say use your time responsibly and effectively. Yeah. And I've seen it too many times where, when I first got my license, I would show someone a home prior to getting them pre-approved. In this case, I showed a doctor several homes, and lo and behold, when we went to get him pre-approved, he was not approved because he just recently had a short sale at his home. He made good income. He made about $300,000 or $400,000 a year, but he just had a short sale, so he didn't qualify to purchase another home. So that's just, and I've seen it crush people. And to Andy's point, it kind of puts a mental block. Space in your head where you don't even want to give the effort in the future.
Yeah, it's a setback. It's like, it's going to take me an extra effort to get to the starting block again.
No, it's not. That's what we're here to help with for people who are in those situations. Help them step by step, slowly get there. I've seen people able to purchase a home, close to about right around 2 years after situations like that where they've had a short sale or foreclosure. Yeah. So the next one, number 3, I'm moving back home where homes and the cost of living are a lot less expensive than they are here in Southern California or California in general. And I get this mostly from active duty service members that I've either served with or I just met through a mutual friend, or they're veterans that they've been living in San Diego for some time now. Just case in point, I have several veteran friends who have been retired and have said, "Hey, I'm not looking to buy a home because I'm planning on moving back to the South, or I'm planning to move back to the Midwest or somewhere where it's, as I said, a lot cheaper." And I said, "Well, hey, how long have you been living here?" "Oh, I've been here for about 20 something years."
Oh, half my life.
Yeah. When are you planning on going back? "Oh, I haven't decided yet. Maybe after I finish my second career." So I'm thinking to myself, well, you get tax-free while you're on active duty. You get tax-free housing allowance.
Yeah.
That can afford you or allow you to purchase a home that you can build equity with by paying down the mortgage balance, and then home values are going up at the same time. So it's kind of working in your favor. So using that tax-free money that the government's giving you to purchase a home to build equity, which is an investment, a very low-risk investment, in my opinion.
Especially here in San Diego.
Yeah, and especially with the low cost of money to borrow money right now.
And the housing allowance is commensurate to the location you're at. And you all know this that are active duty watching this. You know this. That BAH is different in other places. It's going to be higher in Hawaii, sure. It's going to be much lower in Virginia. It's going to be lower in Washington. It's going to be lower in a lot of the parts of the country. So that it's like, oh, the costs are lower. Well, yeah, so's the BAH. Oh, the costs are higher in Hawaii. Yeah, so's the BAH. So there is a proportionate measurement to this objection that comes up quite often.
Oh, very often.
A lot.
And I want to point out, you can use that equity when you sell that home here to purchase your home wherever it is in any other part of the country or world for that matter.
And still use your VA at that next purchase as well. So if you use your VA here in San Diego and you end up selling the house in San Diego, you just get your entitlement renewed, and you're back on the street looking for another VA home in wherever you go next.
Yes.
Texas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Illinois. You name all the 50 states. You're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Use it there too.
Exactly. And number 4 is, will I receive a fair and accurate appraisal? Yes.
The appraiser's job depends on it.
Yeah. Now, do some appraisals are the reports inaccurate or I don't want to say inaccurate. Do they have all the data, or are they? I don't want to say they're not fair, but sometimes appraisals are challenged.
I think I know what you're trying to say. Okay. So there are definitely some exceptions with appraisals when it comes to, am I going to get a fair value?
Right.
The answer is always yes. The caveat where you will not, and this is where the exception comes from, is if you get an out-of-area appraiser that does not know how to appraise according to what is happening in the environment they're surveying, that can present a challenge, number 1. Number 2, if there are limited comparables, that also presents a challenge, because the appraiser has to dance this tango between, the contract says the house is worth this amount, but the comps in the area don't support that, and some of them are old, some of them are too far away, some of them are across that major thoroughfare, some of them are in a completely different development. So there's all these other variables that create some maybe entanglements when coming up to a value, but there's always a solution. Right. You can always do a rebuttal to an appraisal.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for.
As an agent, Mike gets an appraisal back, and maybe some of the data just isn't adding up. Mike can submit a rebuttal that says, hey, thank you for that. However, please take into consideration point A, point B, point C. Here's supporting evidence of that. Here's some comparables that are recently sold. Here's some other places that are currently under contract and the contract price that they're under. And then all those things can help corroborate the value you're hoping to get.
Yes, and I had some experience, providing comps for appraisers, meeting them at the property and providing those comparable home sales. And a lot of that experience I got from not just working as an agent, but also doing broker price opinions.
Right.
Where I,
that was what you did.
Yeah. A lender would basically, hire me to give them kind of not an appraisal per se, but a broker price opinion, assess the value of that home based on the comparable home sales in that neighborhood. I would take photos of the interior and exterior, take photos of the street, annotate the size of the property, the likeliness of the comparables, all this data to help lenders, assess the property value for homeowners for multiple reasons. They're either refinancing or the home is in distress, you name it. But so I feel comfortable saying, yes, you will get a fair and accurate appraisal. And, with all the resources we have, there shouldn't be any reason why you shouldn't get a fair and accurate appraisal.
Yeah.
So number 5, how do you choose an agent? Well, I always recommend you use someone that, has provided or given someone that you've known a great experience through their home buying or selling process.
Yeah.
And someone that you have good rapport with and thinks you first and not just the end result of you buying or selling, like said home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in a lot of areas of our life when we make a consumer behavior decision, it's we work with people we know, like, and trust. Right. And when it comes to buying a house, for most people, it's their largest purchase, their largest monthly payment. The mortgage interest they pay is their largest tax deduction, and then it becomes a way to achieve the American dream. We've talked about that for decades now. It's like, it's the American dream to own a house. And if you look at some of the most historically wealthy people from our most recent history, aside from creating a mega large global business, their acquired wealth is through the transfer and sale of real estate. Yeah. And so it's important that when you're making those types of decisions, you're working with someone you know, like, and trust, because they're going to bat for you. Yeah. You need to be able to talk together. You need to be able to communicate, ask hard questions, not be militant about it, but ask the questions you want to ask, and trust the answer you're going to get.
Yes.
And then be able to describe how that makes you feel, what that makes you think about, and then what you want to do as far as game plan is concerned, going from that place. So it's critically important that you're working with people you like, because if the industry were to just dangle a check out there, anyone will work for it. Mm-hmm. But that's not the point. The point is we're trying to work for what you want and what your family needs.
Yes.
Getting compensated is the net result of doing the good deed and bringing it from beginning to conclusion. That's where the reward's at.
Right.
So that's why it's really important that you work with someone you like.
And that person you like, obviously if you like them, you're going to have good rapport with them. You're going to build a great relationship. But when you have that great rapport and someone who's just not looking out for that end result, they're doing things behind the scene that you do not know about. They're fighting fires, handling problems, doing their fiduciary duty to you as their client to help make sure that you reach the closing table on time and without, too much risk.
I just thought of, think about, like, it's like a wedding day. It's like the wedding planner. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, but the bride and the groom are enjoying their day. Like, that's what we want to have happen. We want you to enjoy the day, enjoy your process. But man, behind the scenes, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people to coordinate with, and sometimes things go awry or they go a little bit sideways, and it's the wedding planner's job to make it all work out. And that's where Mike and us come in on the finance and the real estate side.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if you're selling, you don't want someone to just kind of say yes and no, or just kind of be a yes ma'am or a yes man or a yes woman to every answer you say or to every request you have as a seller. Yep. You want someone that has a backbone, that's not just going to roll over, and that's actually going to negotiate for you, as well as take professional photos, help you prepare the home for sale, make sure you do all your due diligence in order to get that home in the most compelling position to sell for the highest price possible. So all things considered, I think that kind of sums it up. Andy and I would like to thank you for watching our video today, and we're glad you're here. If you have any questions, comments, please please write it in the comments section below or direct messages. If you want to reach out to us, maybe have a consultation, feel free to call, text, email, or direct messages as well, and we'd be happy to work with you. Have a great weekend, everyone, and stay safe and healthy.